Hello, economics students of social issues. It is Sunday, July 9th, and I hope that everyone had a good break. And I know the market suffered a little bit up on Thursday and Friday. Still the fear of interest rates going up even more to try to curb inflation, but we'll see how things go this week with the economic data. So for this week, continue on with your readings in chapter 24 and 26. I tied these two together because they're tied with the question of illegal goods and crime. You're going to address some concepts such as the concept of consumer surplus and producer surplus. Chapter 24, consumer surplus. I want you to think of it this way, is that what is the difference between what you'd be willing to pay for something and then what you actually paid? So like Taylor Swift was in concert at Kansas City last night. Let's say somebody was willing to pay $500 for a ticket and they only had to pay $300 for that ticket. They would have $200 of consumer surplus. And producer surplus is the difference between what somebody is paying you and what somebody was willing to pay you. So let's say that I hired you to paint my house and you were willing to do it for $3,000. I was paying you $4,000, then you had $1,000 producer surplus. So you're also going to touch a little bit on the elasticity demand. Elasticity demand by formula is percentage change in quantity demanded over the percentage change in price. And when something has an elasticity between 0 and 1, we consider it inelastic, and it's greater than 1, it's considered elastic. Now, cigarettes, alcohol, the types of goods that are commonly consumed in the United States, although they have many detrimental impacts to healthcare costs, have highly inelastic demands. It means they have a very steep demand curve. And any tax put on these is usually borne by the consumer. So, but the question in these chapters, and even Gary Becker is mentioned in chapter 26, he was the late great Gary Becker, Nobel Prize winning economist, question, why haven't more states legalized marijuana? And it was kind of interesting that many states are now decriminalizing marijuana. They look at the kind of the cost and the benefits of it, and they're saying, the price of incarcerating people and the 3 strikes you're outlaw just wasn't worth it for the marijuana issue. Now, when you think about types of crimes, you think like the lowest level crime is like a speeding ticket. Second would be something like theft. And third would be a crime against harm to individuals. And those are the ones we care the most about. But there's been a lot of changes recently, especially in the last 3 or 4 years. Kind of a resistance to enforce, let me say in better words, to a lot of policing agencies have kind of been restricted or not allowed to enforce like they used to. So we've definitely seen a rise in different types of crime come about recently. Whether it's vandalism or thefts or more reckless driving, things that used to be enforced, like if you had let's say your tag's out or something hanging from your mirror, usually the police are going to let that go now and try to focus on. And also the willingness to join the police force now has changed quite a bit too. So there are trade-offs, and that's what this chapter addresses in chapter 26. And it's what we're addressing as a society. What are the social benefits and social costs of trying to deter crime, and what are some of the best policies to put in place? So I've seen that some of you are working ahead on the Connect. So just do that. Yeah, I'll work ahead, get that out of the way if you want. But the main thing is make sure you jump in early to that forum discussion, get that posted. If you do have any questions, do email me, but I'll try to jump in that forum discussion again with our small cohort and make some comments too. Enjoyed reading your posts, but again, looking forward to get things started back up. After this, we have 4 more weeks, so we'll move pretty quickly. But otherwise, have a great week, and I'll talk to you online. Take care.